Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive.
So glad to be here for this one.
And before we get into the absolute masterclass of strategy we're looking at today, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button to Rugby Obsession right now so you never miss an analysis.
Yeah, you really, really do not want to miss these.
Trust me, you're going to want to be here for every single one of these. Today, we have a mission.
A pretty massive one.
Russian South Africa just slammed its borders shut tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Just a total lockdown on talent.
Exactly. Every Springbok currently playing their club rugby in Europe or Japan is immediately stripped of their green and gold jersey. So the mission we are taking on today, to figure out if that completely locally based Springboks starting 15 would still be ranked #1 in the world.
It's such a compelling question.
It really is.
And what I love about this thought experiment, which was posed by Dean Boyle in the South African, by the way, is the incredibly positive reality it reveals about the current state of the game.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have, right?
Exactly. The fact that we can even entertain this premise, that we can sit here and build a hypothetical local-only team that actually looks terrifying on paper, it's just a massive testament to Coach Rassie Erasmus.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, he has spent years methodically and intentionally building this unparalleled depth within South African rugby.
Developing, 3 or more quality players for every spot?
Yeah, 3, sometimes 4 absolute top-tier guys who are primed and ready to step up in literally any single position on the field.
It's crazy.
It really is a celebratory moment for the sport. Because that level of depth, where your third-string option is a world-class athlete, that is practically unheard of in modern international rugby.
Okay. Let's unpack this, because to understand this hypothetical, we really have to look at the current reality.
Right.
A massive contingent of key Springboks are currently playing abroad. I mean, Boyle points out that the top 3 highest-paid Springboks are all being paid extremely handsomely by their overseas clubs.
Very handsomely.
Yeah. Now, contrast that with the All Blacks in New Zealand, or, England. Both of those nations have very strict policies of not selecting overseas-based players.
Period. If you play overseas, you do not play for the national team.
Exactly. And yet, SA Rugby has been successful recently in luring some stars back to South Africa, which is great.
For sure.
But the overarching policy is totally different. But wait, I have to push back on this a little bit.
Oh.
Is it actually a disadvantage to force all your talent to stay in-house? Think of it like a tech company's hiring policy.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Right. By letting Boks play overseas, aren't they basically gathering intelligence and experience from all these global leagues to bring back to the national team?
What's fascinating here is that you've hit on the exact philosophical divide in global rugby management right now.
Really?
Yeah. The nations that enforce a strict local-only policy, they view playing locally as the ultimate way to maintain absolute control.
So it's about control over the system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But South Africa's flexibility, which, it basically lets players go abroad and learn different systems, that might actually be the secret to their world-dominating depth.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they're absorbing all that global intelligence. But this overarching policy directly shapes the talent pool left on home soil.
Because all those guys abroad are out of the picture for this experiment.
Right. Which leads us right into who would actually wear the green and gold if the strict local-only rule were applied today.
Right. Let's get into building this local-only squad. But really quickly, if you are enjoying this breakdown of the hypothetical squad as much as we are, make sure to hit subscribe to Rugby Obsession. We love pulling these strategic layers back with you.
Yeah, absolutely do it.
All right, so let's start where the game is usually won and lost, which is the forwards, the local pack.
The big guys.
Yeah. Dean Boyle lays out a front row that is, frankly, terrifying.
Oh, it's massive.
We are talking about Oxnich from the Sharks, Bongimo Bonambi also from the Sharks, and then either Wilco Lou from the Bulls or Franz Malherbe from the Stormers.
That's a huge front row.
And then behind them in the second row, the locks are Eben Etzebeth from the Sharks and Ruan Nortje from the Bulls.
Such a physical pairing.
And the loose forwards, you got Kolisi, again from the Sharks as captain, joined by Elrai Lives and Cameron Hanekom, both from the Bulls, at 7 and 8.
I mean, it is just a staggering list of names. When you look at that forward pack, the sheer, unadulterated physical power is just undeniable.
World class, right.
Completely world class. It proves that South Africa's domestic leagues retain absolute premium talent in the physical phases of the game.
Yeah, but here's where it gets really interesting for me.
Okay.
Look at those team affiliations I just read out. It is almost entirely Sharks and Bulls players.
Yeah, it really is heavily weighted there.
So is a national team actually stronger when the pack is basically just two domestic club teams mashed together?
That's a great question.
I mean, it's like taking a beautifully tuned engine straight out of a Ferrari and just dropping it right into your custom build. The chemistry is already there, you know.
That is a phenomenal analogy, and yes, it is ferociously competitive. You are bypassing that awkward integration phase where national coaches spend weeks just trying to get guys to speak the same on-field language.
But they already do. They play together every week.
Exactly. They are deeply synchronized. So in the forwards, that local synergy is a massive weapon.
But while the forwards rely heavily on that established local synergy, moving the ball out wide paints a very different picture of where South Africa's talent currently lives, doesn't it?
It really does. The backline puzzle is where things get tricky.
Yeah, let's look at the halves. Boyle suggests Sacha Feinberg Mangumazulu from the Stormers at fly half.
He's had a fantastic season.
Really fantastic. But scrum half is tricky. Grant Williams from the Sharks is dynamic and speedy, but he's heading to Japan next season.
Right, which takes him out of our local-only rule.
Exactly, meaning Morney Vandenberg from the Lions would have to step in.
And that transition highlights a delicate balance of youth and experience in the backs. You've got brilliant talent, but they are suddenly steering the ship without the usual veteran generals around them.
Right, and out on the wings and centers, you have Kurtley Arenzi, Edwil van der Merwe from the Lions, Andre Esterhuizen, and either Kanan Moody or Ethan Hooker.
All incredibly skilled, powerful runners.
And Damian Willems from the Stormers at fullback.
Yeah, great local outfit.
But then you have to look at the glaring absences of the global superstars.
The missing megastars.
Yeah, detail this massive list of first-choice players unavailable due to playing overseas for me, because it's a lot.
It's sobering, really. You are losing Cheslin Kolbe,
Ouch.
Jesse Creel, Damien Delalande,
Wow.
Peter Steph Dutoit, Malcolm Marks, Quagga Smith, R.G. Snyman, and Jesper Wise.
So what does this all mean? I mean, you read that list of missing players, and it sounds like a World Cup winning dream team all on its own.
It basically is.
Right. Doesn't losing a spine of players like Kolbe, Marks, and Dutoit completely change the identity of the team?
Oh, absolutely it does.
Are we looking at a #1 squad here, or just a really good developmental side?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, you are hitting on the exact vulnerability of a hypothetical local-only policy.
How so?
The local backline is incredibly skilled and balanced, no doubt. But the sheer volume of experience missing, that's the issue.
Right, the cap count.
Yes, the cap count drops dramatically. You lose the guys who have seen every defensive trap, every high-pressure scenario in global rugby.
They might panic under pressure.
Not necessarily panic, but they don't have those safety nets. When a young fly-half gets in trouble, he doesn't have a veteran like Dale Null to just crash the ball up and safely reset the phase.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So while they would still be brutally tough to beat, especially at home, maintaining that #1 global ranking requires the refined, experienced edge of those global stars.
So would this local-only side be #1 in the world? We want to know exactly what you think.
Yeah, we really do.
Would this local XV beat the real All Blacks or Ireland? Get into the comments, share your thoughts, drop your opinions.
And while you are doing that, I want to leave you with one final provocative thing to chew on.
Ooh, lay it on us.
If South Africa actually did adopt the All Blacks in England policy of only selecting local players, what would happen long term?
Right.
Would it incentivize players to stay home and make the local clubs just completely invincible?
That would be amazing for the local leagues.
It would, but on the flip side, would it financially cripple the talent pool because they can't access those massive overseas contracts?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, would it eventually knock the Springboks off their global throne forever? It's a huge gamble.
There's a massive question to think about. Control versus growth right there. Well, if you want to keep exploring these massive what-ifs with us, this is your final reminder. Hit subscribe to Rugby Obsession.
Please do.
Thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we'll look forward to you listening to our next episode.